Good day, everyone. Happy Friday, last day of class. This is our final PBL, the Impact and Changes to Autism Funding. This is done by myself, Kristin, Katelyn, and Madison. So before we go into it, we need to understand autism. And autism, also known as ASD, is a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication. So there's many subtypes of autism, most influenced by a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Because autism is a spectrum disorder, each person with autism has a distinct set of strengths and challenges. The ways in which people with autism learn, think, and problem solve can range from highly skilled to severely challenged. Some people with ASD may require significant support in their daily lives, while others may need less support and in some cases live entirely independent. Several factors may influence the development of autism and is often accomplished by sensory sensitives and medical issues such as gastrointestinal disorders, seizures, or sleep disorders, as well as mental health challenges such as anxiety, depression, and attention issues. So here's our scenario. Jerry is a 4-year-old boy considered on the spectrum, and he's going to begin school in the fall. He'll need an individualized lesson plan as well as a caregiver for some needed one-on-one attention. More support and services might be needed depending on how well he transitions. Jerry lives in a home with an annual net income of $65,000. His mother's a stay-at-home caregiver to assist Jerry with his exceptionality. According to the Ontario Autism Program, this allows Jerry's family to be funded for a maximum amount of 94% of their costs. So our problem is that he's entering the school system in September, with support solely from his mom, doctor, supportive school system, and services that are listed. These are critical at this point for a position of transition into kindergarten and further development, especially with an average minimal cost of $60,000 per year. How do you think Jerry's family can support him to the fullest? So with that, we had some analysis questions. How does the family ensure Jerry is receiving the best care possible, allowing him to develop to his fullest potential? What are the barriers that will come across? Where can the family go to receive proper assessment with various resources to assist their son's medical needs and learning for the future? Why is this important? And what financial restraints are the family facing? What impact does this have for Jerry and his future? Starting April 1st of this year through the Ontario Autism Program, families of children with autism will be provided with timely access to childhood budgets so they can purchase the services they value most from the providers of their choice. This will support children to achieve their goals at home, at school, in the community, and as they transition into adulthood, thus also being the goals as well. The funding prior to this change always had children on a wait list that could take up to 2 years for a proper assessment. In 2015, over 16,000 children were on a waitlist. Funding depended on the type and amount of service the child needs and what other help is available in the community and what kind of support the family is already receiving now. Families can access up to $20,000 a year per child under the age of 6, and from 6 to 18, they can access up to $5,000 per year for autism therapy. The changes mean families can receive a lifetime maximum of up to $140,000 for a child in treatment from the ages of 2 to 18, but only families with an adjusted annual net income of under $55,000 are eligible for the maximum amounts, with funding determined on a sliding scale up to $250,000 income. Evidence shows that when children start behavioral intervention between ages 2 and 5, they gain improvements in cognitive and language developments, and they're better prepared for school and have better long-term outcomes in adulthood. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom is part of the Canadian Constitution, which is a set of laws containing the basic rules about how our country operates. Section 15 of the Charter makes it clear that every individual in Canada, regardless of race, religion, national or ethnic origin, color, sex, age, or physical or mental disability is to be considered equal. This means that the government must not discriminate on any of these grounds in its laws or programs. Of the many rights of people with autism, we have a few listed below. We did find 19 others as well, and we will have them listed in a separate slide. Normally as a group we don't really request this, but we're going to give you guys the opportunity to pause the page and take a look at these stats and also the following page that I'm going to bring up here for you. We hope you find something that's interesting. There's the second one for you. Before we jump into our solution, we need to think of some synthesis questions. How might these government changes affect Jerry and other children with ASD in school? How might a child on the spectrum be affected if programs and educators are cut? What impact could these funding changes do to families? Is it helpful? Why is the government making these choices of budget cuts? Who suffers and why does it matter? Some of the possible solutions we found were to register for the OAP assistance, which Jerry could get assessed, financial support, and connect to some therapists for it. Also, the government should help families and run a needs-based program which determines how much funding a family gets based on the child's specific autism needs. The family could also find ways to make more money, and the mother should possibly find work if he's going to be at school to further bring in more money and support for Jerry's potential needs. And then another thing would be a fight for a needs-based ASD plan or an applied behavior analysis. Another solution could be to apply for the My Autism Passport. It's an innovative patient journey app designed to help parents of children with ASD overcome barriers, stay on the same page with caregivers, and play an active role in their child's care. This app aids parents in keeping track of their child's progress as well as finds options for services they have in their local area. This can aid in managing finances as well. In the interest of time, we're going to give you guys another opportunity to pause the page on here, and we'll also bring this up in class and give you guys the full lowdown on this court case here. So this is a typical scenario for a middle-class family with ASD as a child. With the new funding model, Jerry's family will receive a grand total of $94,000 for his lifetime from the government for ASD therapies. Jerry's mom is keeping her options open and getting Jerry connected to services that will assist his development. Jerry's parents apply to the OAP and it's assessed relatively quickly, and they receive 85% coverage for Jerry's ASD needs and therapies. This means Jerry's family can receive $17,000 for 2 years until he turns 6, a total of $34,000. Jerry will then receive $5,000 each year afterwards until he reaches 18. Jerry's family works closely with his teacher in kindergarten to further assist his needs on a daily basis. An IEP will be developed, and he works closely at times one-on-one with an ECE throughout the day. His parents are also able to work with him at home in areas he might be struggling with or having harder times understanding. Finally, Jerry's mom is going to find a job and be able to increase their family income to $88,000. Lastly, we just have some food for thought here. Thank you very much, guys, and much appreciated. Enjoy your summer. Ciao for now.